Hi everyone, Stephen Spry again. It's been a while, hasn't it? My plan to do daily videos has suffered somewhat over the last few days. Basically, I went down a rabbit hole that came about as the result of our federal election in Australia last weekend, and I haven't yet surfaced, which is a bit scary because some of the things I'm looking at as a result of that are really strange. But anyway, last Saturday, on the actual day of the election, I went to watch my son, who's, how old are you, mate? 27, playing a soccer game. And it's actually the first time I've seen him play in almost a decade, 10 years, long time. And I'm saying a lot, aren't I? Well, I'll try and practice not doing that. So we were involved in the local Camden Haven Redback Soccer Club for many years, from when he was about 8 through to 18. And I was actually involved over various points as obviously a parent, but I helped out as assistant coach in the earlier days and stood in as actual coach of the teenage boys team there for a couple of years, and then said, again, got to practice. If you're speaking, you've got to practice to not say that word. Breathe instead of umming. But what I'd like to encourage parents to do who have young kids that are, say, from five through to teenage or whatever, is to actually get involved in some sort of weekly sport activity. It was really great for me to get involved in, especially as a single parent, because I got to meet other people that were in the community, you know. That in itself is a bonus. For me personally, it also made a huge difference to my fitness, and that's something that I wish I was doing now, because as an assistant coach or a coach, you're actually forced, for want of a better word, to be out there on the oval running around with the boys or with the team or whatever it is you're doing, and it's certainly something I've missed doing physically. All this exercising in the last decade, that's for sure. It's probably I'm not really an exercise freak, so to actually do something like that on a regular basis or be forced to do it, yeah, twist the arm up around the back. Come on, boys, we've got to run around the oval. It certainly made a big difference to me for that. And as a father, I think being involved in this type of activity actually gets you a lot closer to your children, to their mates, to actually see what they're doing, what they're thinking, you know, keep in touch with it and all that sort of thing. So I would encourage all of you as parents, when you've got kids, to really get involved, to look at getting involved in something like this. And yeah, I know it might mean that you've got to give up an afternoon during the week for training, or you've got to give up a Saturday morning or a Saturday afternoon, or in our case, when we were in the teenage teams, we gave up Friday nights. And by goodness, it was cold out there on those Friday nights sometimes as well. And there's a hint for that too, a tip from me with this. Friday nights, when it's cold, or whenever it's cold, keep the noggin covered. Keep that cold dew off the head and you'll be a hell of a lot warmer. I actually wore a hat or a cap or a beanie pretty much all the time I was out at night time. And, you know, watching him play on Saturday was just good. It was just good. It brought back an awful lot of memories from that period. I did want to video it, but I got roped into waving the flag on one of the lines because they didn't have a linesman there. So I thought, what the heck, I'll do that. So I didn't actually do any videoing of the soccer match. Perhaps the only part of that I should have videoed was when I went base over apex, reaching out with my foot to try and stop a soccer ball, and ended up flat on my backside. But everyone had a good giggle at that, including me. But you know, got to be careful because that's something you really don't want to be doing at 60, whatever I am, 64 this year. You might end up with broken bits, which ain't good. So anyway, that's just something to consider. Get involved with what your kids are doing. Get them involved in doing something outside of the house too. Why the hell not? You know, the teamwork and the exercise and the discipline and all of that sort of stuff. Valuable skills to learn, for sure. But anyway, I'll try and get back into some sort of normal routine, and so that you can see what I'm up to. You know what you got to do, don't you? You know, it's down there. Like, subscribe, share, all of that sort of stuff. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheers for now. Bye.